Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. I really want to talk about the question if minimalism is the new poverty or if minimalism is luxury that only privileged people can access. That is a question, or that is something that people think both ways actually, and today I want to just give you my opinion on the subject and talk a little more about that. If you're new here, my name is Leah. I'm uploading videos twice a week about minimalism and sustainable living. If you're interested in these topics, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And now let's get started. So that minimalism is the new poverty, I've heard many times in the recent past. And I think that comes from the picture that some people have of minimalists, and they think they have empty apartments, they have nothing to surround them with, they can't have anything because they don't want to have anything, so they say that the lack of stuff is equal to poverty. I would say that is not true because it's a chosen lifestyle. I don't think poverty is not having the stuff that you don't want to have. I mean, that is just a completely different situation. So I think in minimalism, people choose what they want to keep, they choose what they want to have, and usually they have even more money after going to the process of learning what they really want and need in their life, so they would be able to buy even more expensive things. And then the other part, that minimalism is luxury, is I think kind of true, because if you really do not have any money and if you really can't choose which items to surround yourself with, then it's really hard to be super happy about that new minimalist lifestyle, and you most likely won't declutter just like that because everything you have is very useful and you don't bring things in your life in the first place that you don't need. And also maybe something that you have multiple versions of you will keep because you don't know if you will have the money to replace it once one of these items is broken. I get it. There are people that live a minimalist lifestyle that have a lot of money. There are also minimalists that are very wasteful. There are also minimalists that do not have any money. Maybe I want to place myself in that huge, disastrous place of minimalists that are completely different, and everybody seems to have an opinion on what is the right and wrong minimalist. So my monthly income is not high, yet I do have savings. This is because I don't spend a lot of money in general, but I do spend a lot of money on food because I like to buy organic food, and I do spend a lot of money on fair fashion or well-produced items. So I do feel like I am in a pretty privileged position because I do have enough money for my life, and I even have the choice to spend my money on organic food, travel, and these mentioned fair fashion pieces. On the other hand, my monthly spendings are, because my monthly income isn't that high, my monthly spendings are pretty low. I think they are way below average when it comes to the spending of a 3-people family. I'm living kind of the poor life because I'm buying everything secondhand, including a toilet brush one time. It wasn't used. But also I'm spending way too much money, some people could say, on items that you could get so much cheaper if you wouldn't mind buying the low quality version or buying it secondhand. When it comes to minimalist, I think the real privilege is that you can choose to have what you have. So if you are able to just declutter everything and don't think about the money it has cost, and don't think about if you want to resell it, if you are just out it goes, I don't need it anymore, I don't need to get any money from that, then that is a privilege. It is also a privilege to travel around the world with only a backpack's worth of things. And it is also a privilege to be able to curate your life, to surround yourself with the items that you really want to have, to exchange items for the better version. That is a privilege, but that doesn't mean that everybody should be jealous. But also what is really not okay, I think, is by pointing with your finger and saying, that is not a good lifestyle, why are you advertising this privileged lifestyle? Not everybody can have that. That is a rich lifestyle. That is, I cannot relate to that, because like I said, I don't spend that much money, yet I can choose what I want to spend it on because I don't need that much. And so I can like spend it in a rich way because I can spend way too much money on certain items just because I don't spend the money on other things. But still, I know there are a lot of people who can't choose where to spend their money on. Where it's like barely enough if you like make all the effort to get everything as cheap as possible. So I really want to say I am in a privileged position to be able to live that kind of a minimalist lifestyle. But also, even though not every kind of minimalist lifestyle is possible for everybody, I think everybody can like adapt a certain number of minimalist things into their life. Because even if you don't have that much money, you can certainly declutter a few items that are maybe like really just trash. Or for example, decluttering paper clutter. Nobody, like, that is nothing you have to buy again. That is just really clutter that you can choose to have in a digital form without spending money. So I think minimalism is possible for almost everybody when it comes to like the side of the people that don't have that much money. But also maybe what is important, that minimalism is something that is most of the time not important to you if you have like barely everything you need to survive. I think thinking about if it would be nice to have a few less items is really not a big problem and really not a big topic in your life when it's about like surviving. On the other hand, I've heard a lot of people say that minimalism is something that is only for poor people, and it's just hiding the fact that you are poor by saying that you choose to only have a few items. And while it can save you money and is maybe a good option if you don't have that much money to think about what you really want to buy and what you really want to have, that's completely not true. There are so many rich people that have a uniform they wear, so they wear the same thing every day, and I don't think they have a full closet of other stuff they don't wear all the time. So there are a lot of rich minimalists. Minimalism is nothing that is just for poor people. And also I think I am just really over the fact that we tie minimalism to a certain income, because it just should be that way. And there are so many different ways of being a minimalist. You can be a minimalist by just decluttering your items. You can be a minimalist by throwing everything out and buying the best items you can think of, by curating your whole life into having the 100 best items, even though you're not decluttering, but you're just buying all of these new. You can also be a minimalist by always throwing things out and always buying new things, which I wouldn't consider being a minimalist if it's becoming like a real habit and if you're just exchanging your things all the time, and especially if you're like not being mindful about how you exchange your things. Also, you can be a minimalist that has a lot of things, but it's just very intentional with like spending their time. You can be a minimalist in being like somebody that doesn't consume a lot of things, but maybe if you have a garden and grow all your food yourself, you need a lot of tools, but you can still be a minimalist. Or you can be a minimalist that does nothing on their own, but buys everything, every service, everything, and have very few items on the other hand. So there are so many possibilities, and all of these different possibilities come with different costs. So I think I just wanted to say that I think minimalism can be for almost everybody, and it is not tied to a certain income. And even though you can live a rich minimal lifestyle and a very affordable minimal lifestyle, there are of course certain people that may have like real reasons why minimalism is not for them. And I'm not talking about the people that don't want to be minimalists, but the people that say, oh, I want to be a minimalist, but I can't because of that and that reason. I think there are really only very few reasons why you couldn't be a minimalist. And also, you don't have to call yourself minimalist. You don't have to have only 100 items. You don't have to be anything that anybody else says is minimalist or not. It's completely up to you. And minimalism should never be something that pushes people out, but it should be something that everybody can take part in and can like take out whatever they need of it. I think it is a luxury to have more time, to have the items you really want to have, and to actually be able to think about which items you want to surround yourself. It is also a luxury to have less stress, to have more experiences than things, to spend more time with the people that you care about instead of like working or doing things you really don't want to do, maintaining your stuff, for example. But that is a luxury that doesn't come with money. It is maybe a little bit connected to it, but for the most part, it is just you having some free time to think about what is important to you and to like start the decluttering process and to find out what items you want to have. In the end, minimalism is really not about the items you keep or the items you declutter, but it is about what you do with your time, what you want to like change your life into, what you want to get out of that more minimalist lifestyle. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos, check out these right here, and until next time, bye!